Hey, everybody. So, with all of the conversations about relationships and a lot of the negative things that we hear about relationships, I thought that I would just take a moment to just share um, some positives about relationships, and in particular, the things that are um, I find to be really good about my own relationship. Um, I've been with my fiance now 6 years, and it has been, I have to say, one of the most beautiful experiences that I have had. Our coming together has been just really good because we both took our time before actually entering into relationship with one another, and even deciding to just even enter into another relationship, period. One of the things that I love so much is the fact that when we got together, that we both had moved on. And what I mean by that is that when we came into the relationships, we were over where we had been. We were over the hurts and the disappointments and the feelings of failure, because both of us had been married before, and we had really taken our time to work through those things before entering into a relationship with another person, and namely each other. And so when we got into our relationship, we were not looking for each other to not be our exes, right? We were not vetting each other to see if the other person had the same personality traits, the habits, the behaviors, or whatever. We came into it with a clean slate, and we looked at each other for who we were and for who the other person was. We didn't look at each other trying to see or trying to figure out, when the shoe was going to drop, or the other shoe was going to drop, so to speak. And when, was I going to see a trait of my ex-husband, or was he going to see something about me that reminded him of his ex-wife? So we had really moved on. And then now what we've done is we've created this space that is unique to us, because we've learned who the other person is, and we continue to learn who the other person is. And so we've created this space that allows the other person to be vulnerable, that allows the other person to be honest, that allows the other person to just be who they are. And when we find that there are things that we don't agree about, when we find that there are things that we feel that the other person has done, we're able to share it better. I think that us both having been married before, I had been married 22 years, he'd been married 21. And I think that time and what we learned in our marriages has really helped us to be better communicators, better listeners, more understanding. And it just works. It works really well, because we have no expectations other than to be treated right, and to ensure that we treat the other person just as well. And so we've talked about coming on and maybe doing a video together to talk about our relationship even more. But I just wanted to take this time to just say that there are some good relationships. There are people who are together who do the work, and who have done the work before they got into a relationship and continue to do the work. One of the things that I appreciate about him is that he doesn't do anything to undo the work that I've done, right? And that the things that he loves about me, he appreciates so much, because he appreciates the work that I did to get there. So what he loves about me is what was produced in my own healing process. And what I love about him is what was produced in his own process. And so I think that we're just in this place. We're in this place, in this space that we've created, that, nobody has to be perfect. Nobody has to say the right thing all the time. There is a mutual respect that we have for one another. Do we agree on all things all the time? Absolutely not, because nobody does. But the ability to work out what we don't agree about is so much better. And I think I can attribute that to what we both learned in our previous marriages. And I'm happy. I'm really happy. Um, and like I said, I don't expect anything more from him, and he expects nothing more from me than that we just be honorable. We know how to celebrate each other. We know how to respect each other. We know how to, you know, find some common sense, common ground when it's necessary. And we don't allow, this is the biggest thing, we don't allow social media to dictate what our relationship will look like and who we will be to each other. There are plenty of opinions about relationships, but when you've been through them, when you have had to work things out in yourself, when you've learned how to take accountability for who you were in the relationship and not just continue to fester in and stay stuck in the fact of what was done to me, but you can also take accountability for what you did. I think that makes it so better, and I think that is one of the things that makes our relationship so good, because in learning how to take accountability when we disagree, or when something is not, when a person feels that they're offended or they feel like the other person has done something, we have that ability now to listen and to not take an offense, because, the person who I say I love, the person who I say is my best friend, is sharing something with me that they would like me to address. And we can speak to each other in a way that is respectful. We can speak to each other in a way that gets to a resolve. We may have a disagreement, but the goal is to resolve the issue, not to talk about all these other things that take us away from the issue. And now what we do is we walk away with something that's unresolved. So I just wanted to share, relationships take time, relationships take sacrifice, relationships take you willing to die to the things that will keep you from being together, that will keep you from being the person that he needs, and keep you from being the person that she needs. And so maybe, like I said, later on, we'll talk about this a little bit more. We'll talk a little bit more about how we got together, how we met, what that looked like. It was great. And what that looks like. And just to really talk about it from the perspective of how he sees relationship now after divorce, and how I see it. And what things we had to do to come together and to be in this place that we're in. Talk to y'all soon.